Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm here with the third part of this MSc Botany Entrance Exam 2022. And in this part, I will discuss questions from gymnosperms, paleobotany, and ecology. So without further ado, let's dive in. The question is, which one of the following classified gymnosperms on the basis of its food structure? So our options are Professor D.D. Pant, then Chamberlain, Seward, or Engler and Prentill. So its right answer is Seward. He was the person who classified gymnosperm into two groups on the basis of its wood structure. और ये जो दो groups थे, they were groups having monoxylic wood and second group was having pycnoxylic wood. दो तरह की wood present होती है. Monoxylic wood means जिसमें broader parenchymal rays होती हैं और जो xylem tracheids होते हैं, they are lesser in number and it contains three groups. तीन orders थे इसमें, that is cycadales, then second was cycadiodales and third was cycadophylicales. So तीन order थे ऐसे जिसमें wood was monoxylic and in pycnoxylic group here there is lesser parenchyma and more xylem tracheids and it is found in the orders like we have chordate then we have this ginkgoales, coniferales and nitales. The next scientist was and this classification was given in the year 1919. तो ये जो classification है 1919 में दी गई थी. The next scientist was Professor D.D. Pant. He gave classification in 1957 and he modified Arnold's system of classification. जो Arnold का classification का system है इसको इन्होंने modify किया and he gave 3 divisions, 9 orders and 11 classes. So this was the outline of classification given by Pant and these 3 divisions were Cycadophyta. Then we have second division that is commonly known as Chlamydospermophyta and third was Coniferophyta. The next scientist was Chamberlain. He along with Coulter, एक साइंटिस्ट हैं काउल्टर, उनके साथ इन्होंने क्लासिफिकेशन दी थी एंड दे डिवाइडेड जिम्नोस्पर्म इनटू 7 orders और ये 7 orders they were cycadales, cycadophylicales, benedictales, chordatales, coniferales, ginkgoales and nitales. And lastly we have Engler and Prentill. They were known for their classification of angiosperms जिन्होंने taxonomy में काम किया है and they give this classification which is known as the phylogenetic system of classification. So Seward, Albert Charles Seward, he was a British botanist. He gave classification of gymnosperm and divided gymnosperm into 2 groups on the basis of its wood structure. Engler and Prentill, as we all know, they were botanists and worked on plant taxonomy. They classified plants on the basis of its phylogenetic system and gave evolutionary relationship between the different groups of the plants. Next question is dispersal of Cycas pollen occurs at, our options are 1 cell stage, 2 cell stage, 3 cell stage or 4 cell stage. So the right answer of this question is 3 cell stage. The Cycas pollen grain is released at 3 cell stage. Firstly, the microspore nucleus divides to form 2 nucleus separated by septa to form 2 cells. The one cell is prothelial cell and the other cell is known as antheridial cell. This prothelial cell does not divide further, but this antheridial cell divides to form other 2 cells. One is the smaller one that is called the generative cell and the larger one that is called the tube cell. तो 3 cell stage में जो साइकस का मेल गैमेटोफाइट है और माइक्रोपोलन ग्रेन है वो रिलीज होता है. So it contains 3 cells, that is prothelial cell, generative cell और tube cell. In addition to this, जो साइकस है, साइकस का जो मेल कौन है, that is largest male cone in the plant kingdom and it shows both after pollination it shows both siphonogamy and zodiogamy. Siphonogamy means transfer of male gametes through pollen tube और zodiogamy means जो male gametes होते हैं they are motile, means they behave like a sperms. So दोनों तरह से ही ये fertilization show करता है. This is the unique feature of cycas. The next we have other genus that is Pinus और Pinus में जो pollen grain release होता है that is released at 4 cell stage. Pinus में 4 cell stage में release होते हैं. So it contains Initially we have this microspore cell जो कि germinate करता है in situ, इसका nucleus divide करता है. It will form two cells. One is the apical cell and the second one is the prothelial cell. जो apical cell है वो further divide करता है to form second prothelial cell, and the other cell is the entheridial cell. Entheridial cell. This entheridial cell divides further and it forms one tube cell and other generative cell. So we have total 4 cells, that is 2 prothelial cells, that is first prothelial cell and second prothelial cell. The next cell is the tube cell and the fourth one is the entheridial cell. So at 4 cell stage, pollen grain of Pinus is released. In case of Pinus, जो pollen grains है, they are released in a huge amount in the form of yellow cloud, जिसे commonly कहा जाता है sulfur shower. It is commonly known as sulfur shower. और ये होता है plains में in Feb and March, और जो forest होते हैं pines के in hilly areas वहाँ पे होता है May to June. And जो इसमें pollination होता है, so this ovules create one drop that is known as pollination drop method, तो उससे ये pollination का process होता है. In addition to this, Pinus is economically very important plant. We have many products from the Pinus group. One is Chilgoza. Chilgoza, it is obtained from the genus Pinus girardiana. The next we have amber, that is again obtained from Pinus succinifera. Then we have craft paper. So craft paper is obtained from Pinus mercusii. Then we have other genus here. The pollen grain is released at 5 cell stage, that is Ephedra. Ephedra में 5 cell stage में pollen grain release होते हैं, और ये जो 5 cell होते हैं, these are 2 prothelial cells, 2 prothelial cell होते हैं. Then it contains 1 tube cell. Then it contains stalk cell and body cell. तो ये 5 cells होते हैं, 2 prothelial cell, then tube cell, stalk cell and body cell. So at 5 cell stage, this pollination of pollen grains occurs in ephedra. और ephedra को commonly जाना जाता है नाम से, that is called jointed fir. Jointed fir के नाम से जानते हैं. और ये शो करता है एपिजियल जर्मिनेशन, मीन्स जो इसके सीड्स होते हैं, कॉटलीडन होते हैं, सीड्स होते हैं, वो सॉइल के सरफेस के ऊपर आते हैं, एंड दे विल बिहेव एज फर्स्ट कॉटलिनरी लीव्स. दिस इज कॉल्ड एपिजियल जर्मिनेशन एंड इट यील्ड्स वन ड्रग दैट इज नॉन एज एफिड्रिन. इससे एक मेडिसिन मिलती है दैट इज कॉल्ड एफिड्रिन, एंड इट इज़ यूज्ड टू क्योर asthma and fever or cough. The next question is, which era had not appropriate condition for fossilization? Our options are Archeozoic, Cenozoic, Mesozoic or Paleozoic. So its most probable answer is Archeozoic era. If we talk about this geological time scale, Earth was formed 4 billion years ago, approximately 4 billion years ago. So we have this time period here, Archean, that is Archeozoic era. So at that time it ranges from 4 to 2.5 billion years ago. तो इस era में कोई भी जो complex life form थी, that was absent because the environmental conditions were harsh. At that time, the complex life forms were absent because for fossilization we require certain condition, like organism should have some hard parts like bones, teeth or pollen grains to form fossils. But at that time the life forms were very simple, or so the fossilization at that time was not favorable. In contrast to this, we have different time periods after that, like we have Paleozoic era, then we have Mesozoic era and Cenozoic era. In all these eras we have organisms which have complex symmetries, complex structures that can form fossils. So the era that did not have appropriate condition for fossilization is the Archeozoic era. This is also known as Archean Eon. It is the earliest part of Earth's history, spanning from about 4 to 2.5 billion years ago. During this era, conditions on Earth were not conducive for the formation and preservation of fossils due to lack of complex life forms and harsh environmental conditions at that time. Fossilization requires some specific conditions such as presence of organisms with hard parts, sedimentation processes, mineralization, and preserved remains over geological timescales. In contrast to this, we have eras like Cenozoic era, Mesozoic era, and Paleozoic eras, and during these eras had more suitable conditions for fossilization and witnessed the evolution and diversification of various life forms, leading to development of organisms with hard parts like shells, bones, teeth, more likely to be fossilized. So presence of diverse ecosystems and geological processes during these eras provided ample opportunities for fossilization to occur, resulting in rich fossil record that helps scientists understand the history of life on Earth. Next question is, excellent fossil from the point of studies. Our options are pseudofossil, impression, petrification, or compression. So its right answer is petrification. These are commonly known as true fossils. Here the tissue are fully or partially replaced with the mineral matter with preservation of their cellular structure, and these are the intact true fossils which preserve every cell of this plant tissue and considered as the best specimens for the study of internal organization of fossilized plants under microscope. So this is the image which shows this petrification, and these are the made up of minerals. Fill in all of an organism organic matter gets replaced with the mineral matter, hardening the tissue and preserving the remains. So this is the best fossil for the study purpose. Next we have pseudofossils. So pseudo means false. So some rocks takes the shape of plant parts or animals, give an illusion of fossils. That is known as pseudofossils. So कई बार जो rocks हैं, they take the shape of plant part or animal part, which gives an illusion. Means illusionary कुछ images बनती हैं rocks के ऊपर, which resembles the plant or animal parts, which are considered as pseudofossil. Next comes index fossil. So these are guides basically used for fossil, which are used in the process of chronological matching of rocks. Next comes living fossils. These fossils show long geographical record, evidence by its fossils still growing in living condition. Means they have their fossil record and are still in living condition. Some genera are present in living condition. For example, we have this genus that is called Ginkgo biloba. It is found in some forest of China. The next comes impression. So impression है, this is again a two-dimensional fossil structure which is formed of flat dorsiventral or two-dimensional plant body, such as we have leaves, sporophylls. So we can see जो impressions है इसमें leaves के impression rock के ऊपर. So these two-dimensional impressions are known as impressions. It means fossil impressions are known as impressions, in which the remains of plant decay completely, leaving its impression on the rock. So we can visualize the surface details of fossilized plant. तो जो surface की details है plant की, उनको हम इसमें study कर सकते हैं. This is called impression. The next comes compression. In compression, fossils are formed when plant remains such as leaves and ferns are compressed by high pressure, leaving behind a dark imprint of the fossil. So they are similar to that of the impressions. These fossils are most common in an environment where fine sediments deposits, such as in the river deltas, lagoons along rivers, and in ponds. Compression fossils are found by physical compression of rocks, which often leads to distortion of fossil. The best fossil of leaves are found preserved in fine layers of sediments. These have been compressed in directions such as in the river deltas. So these are the types of fossils, and the best fossil from the study point of view is petrification. Next question, the easy one. Lateral roots originate from. Our options are anadromous, pericycle, cortex, or epidermis. So its right answer is pericycle. So lateral roots originates from the tissue that is known as pericycle. Next question, topography factors are concerned with. Our options are texture of soil, physical geography of earth, mineral content of the soil, or humus content of the soil. So its right answer is physical geography of the earth. So topography factors are concerned with physical geography of earth. Topography plays an important or significant role in soil formation and it influences factors such as runoff of water, orientation affecting microclimate and vegetation growth. The arrangement of landforms affects the distribution of water, which in turn impacts soil development. For instance, soil on hillsides tends to be shallow due to erosional losses, while soil in valleys are deeper, darker, contain more horizons due to material deposition and water accumulation. While the texture of soil, mineral content, and humus content are essential aspects of soil composition and fertility, topography specifically refers to physical feature of earth surface such as hills, valleys, slope, and plateaus. These landforms influences drainage patterns, erosion rates, and distribution of nutrients across different areas, ultimately shaping the characteristics of the soil in those regions. So the right answer of this question is physical geography of the earth. The next question is from Ecology. Which of the following is a podsolic or alluvial zone of the soil profile? So our options are O1 region, O2 region, A1 region, or A2 region. So its right answer is A2 region, that is also known as zone of alluviation or leaching. So this is the diagram which shows soil profile. Soil profile means the vertical arrangement of different soil layers, and the topmost layer is the O layer, which stands for organic layer. And it is divided into two parts, that is O1 and O2. So this upper layer that contains litter, branches, leaves, slightly decomposed organic matter, while this O2 layer it contains highly decomposed organic matter and is darker in color. Then comes the A layer, which contain substantial humus, dark color substance. Then comes the A2 layer, which is also known as the E layer, that is zone of elevation, and also known as zone of leaching, which is lighter in color. और जो भी मटेरियल है वो यहाँ से लीच आउट होता है towards the downward side. And this B layer, which is again the darker layer, which is known as zone of alluviation. So the right answer of this question is A2 region, which is considered as the podsolic or alluvial zone of the soil profile. The next question is sclerenchyma is well developed in the organ of. Our options are Casuarina, aloe vera, Opuntia, or Bryophyllum. So among these three are these all plants are xerophytic plants. This one is non-succulent xerophyte, and these three are the succulent xerophyte. So this Casuarina contains well developed sclerenchymatous tissue because it provides stiffness to the plant body, while these three succulent xerophytes have softer plant body. They contain lesser amount of sclerenchyma as compared to the Casuarina. So this is the section of Casuarina stem which shows the sclerenchyma, that is well developed sclerenchyma in this tissue, in this plant, which provides stiffness or mechanical support to the plant body. Next question is stratification is one of the characteristic of our options are ECADS, population, ecological equivalence, or community. So its right answer is community. Community is a group of different species in a particular area. So stratification is basically vertical layering in the forest of different plant on the basis of its height. So we have different layers, vertical layers in the forest, and this process is known as stratification, vertical stratification. And the next comes ECAD. ECAD or ecophenar habitat forms, which are environmentally induced variations. So the members of same species show morphological variations in their size, shape, number, reproductive capacity, and these changes are induced by environmental influences, yet they belong to same species. So इसके लिए हम term use करते हैं ECADs or ecophenes. Next we have ecological equivalence. So ecological equivalents are two species from different taxonomic categories that have adapted a comparatively comparable niches and habitats in different places. The ecological equivalency of these creatures is the outcome of convergent evolution, and they are completely unrelated. तो दो different species हैं जो अलग अलग जगह पे होती हैं, but they show some similarity in their niches, means way of life, or in their habitat. So they are completely unrelated, and this is an example of convergent evolution. The next question, a whole sequence from the beginning till the climax stage in succession called, options are serial stage, serie, nudation, or ecasis. So its right answer is serie. So this is basically the replacement of one community by another community till the climax community is reached. So this process is known as serie, and the stages which occurs from the pioneer community. Pioneer community means the initial plant which inhabits the bare area or bare rock. These are known as pioneer communities. To the climax community, which forms an equilibrium with the environmental condition. So these community which occurs in between these communities are known as serial community or serial stages. Then we have different steps which are involved in this process of succession. First one is nudation, which means formation of bare area. Then comes invasion. So the spores or any other structure which of the pioneer community that enters into that bare area and establish themselves in that area. So for the establishment we use this term ecasis. So ecasis is the establishment of new plant or new plant body, new plant in a new habitat. Then comes competition and coaction, then reaction and stabilization, which is the final step in the process of ecological succession. So this was all about for our today's discussion about these questions. I hope you will get some idea from this presentation. If you have any questions, queries, and any suggestions, give it in comment section. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.